Right, all right, all right. Here we go. Here we go. Aswand Cruickshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current five-time published author and educator. Back for another Trapreneur Wednesday. Yes, it may be your first time ever hearing the term, a term that was coined by yours truly. It's called Trapreneur. Trapreneur, basically taking what entrepreneur does every day and taking a person that has a job that they're very passionate about and aligning the two into one word. All right. So before me, the word was actually entrepreneur. When you think about that person who has the job and still has entrepreneurial vision and has the element to them, there's a piece of them that have been blessed enough. They've been blessed enough to be in a situation where they're getting a job every two. I mean, they're getting a paycheck. They have a job in which they're getting a paycheck every single 2 weeks, and they also have entrepreneurial visions for what it is that they want to do. That person is normally called an intrapreneur, but yours truly has coined the phrase "wintrapreneur," having the sports background that I have, and I've been able to take it. And most likely, probably I can't confirm it yet, but I have kind of started some of the process of writing book number 6, and it will be about the element of being a wintrapreneur. And in fact, one of my keynotes is about the concept of being a wintrapreneur, because this is just pretty much taking the mindset or taking the thought of an entrepreneur and taking it to the next level. That's why I coined the phrase. That's why it's not, I don't, you could look across the internet, you can do whatever it is you need to do. Nobody's using the term entrepreneur. I am the only one. All right. And it's going to be like that. If somebody tries to use it after me, that means they're taking it from me. All right. So all that being said, every single Wednesday, I'm on here to give you a tip, a entrepreneur tip on how you can be making yourself a little more valuable to your current position, to whatever it is you're currently doing in life. And even if you don't have a job and you are being an entrepreneur full time, this is something that you can get value from as well. Because even if you don't necessarily have the job, quote unquote, you're still having to deal with employees. You're still going to have to deal with other folks that are going to be getting in the way of what it is your bottom line is. So this is kind of a universal tip that I give every single Wednesday because I have so much experience doing it. And instead of giving you a long, drawn out episode or, trying to record it right after a run like I normally do my recordings, and I'm free thinking and I'm all over the place, I figured every single Wednesday be nice and calm, give you a nice, concise message so you can take it with you wherever you go and however you want to apply it. All right. So before I get into what the Wintrapreneur tip is actually today, gotta send you over to makeyamove.com. That's MAKEYAMOVE.com. There's something there called an athlete NIL bundle, which includes these 3 books: Make Your Move, a unique look into boxing, dance, and entrepreneurship; Transferring D1, a practical guide on how to navigate the chaotic world of college athletics; and The Six-Figure Athlete, how to convert your skills into cash. All 3 of them, they're going to be coming in a bundle. Also, before you actually in doing that as well, you can go to freeguide.makeitmove.com and you will be getting, just put your information in and I'll be sending you over a guide on the 10 tips on how to use innovative teamwork to reduce turnover. All right. That's actually the first place I want you to go. And then, go to makeitmove.com, get you an NIL athlete bundle. All right. So now that we got all that out the way, let's get into today's tip. And let me talk to you about how I was able to develop this whole move swiftly concept. All right. There's been so much that I have said again, have coined. I don't want to say I've coined the term move swiftly, but if you look across the internet, I've made the term something that is associated with innovative teamwork, because the first book I put out, it was called Swiftly, Your Guide to Innovative Teamwork. And it's an acronym. Swiftly is an actual acronym, and it's an acronym I came up with because of what I was actually living at the time, how I was actually moving, what my day-to-day was like, and what I was seeing within my work environment. All right. So at the time I was working at a boxing gym named Nine Round Kickboxing and Fitness, and I was the lead trainer at this particular gym. I was like Mr. Nine Round. All the members would come in and they'd be so excited to see me. Their members would, they would go tell their spouses about me. I mean, there were times where they'd come in. I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm just impressing upon you. I was kind of a big deal when it came to this particular Nine Round Fitness implantation because there were people coming in, newcomers coming and seeing me for the first time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I heard about you. My husband told me about you," and all that kind of stuff, right? So this is when I got that first taste of what it feels like to kind of be the face of a franchise. Even though was a captain for multiple football teams, it wasn't like this because this was completely different. I didn't have other teammates, and we weren't going out and competing and winning games or anything like that. I had a very kind of laid back owner type of a person who really wasn't an aggressive marketer. So I had to kind of be that person that was doing a lot of different things, right? So because of that, I knew I needed to develop as a public speaker. And I went to an organization named Toastmasters and I gave a great speech. I was able to get really concise and, take lessons from major public speakers and all that. I was really, really into it. I was practicing my speeches actually with the members. And I was, as you can tell, learning how to develop as a public speaker and really, really figuring out how to master that skill, right? So I gave a great speech on during one of those Saturdays, and I was told by other speakers when they were giving me an evaluation, they're like, look, you need to go out and you need to have your own intellectual property. You need to have your own content. You need to be doing something to make sure you have it to where when people hear you speak, immediately they go buy your book. You need to get this done, right? So I immediately started thinking about my football background back when, I played here at Stony Brook. I immediately started thinking about this and during that time and how when we would work out together, we would be separated into categories. We'd be separated into the athletic guys, which were the running backs, the wideouts, the DBs, then the other guys who were my group named who were the linebackers, the quarterbacks, tight ends, and then the other group, we were called it Group C, which was the offensive lineman, defensive lineman, and all that kind of stuff, right? So I had this thing in my head where we can separate people into categories because I was already thinking in terms of I want to deliver workshops at the time. I was also a workshop host for Positive Coaching Alliance, and I wanted to do a lot of these things. And I started thinking about my work situation, right? And I'm saying all this because I want to give you a reference point. When I came up with the name Swiftly, it was to put folks in categories: the skilled workers, the well-informed workers, WI, skilled obviously being S, WI being well-informed, and the front team workers, all right? I came up with that. I had that in my head, but that's all I had. I didn't really have much of a concept, much of a business, much of a framework on how I'm going to sell it or how I'm going to leverage that as into opportunities to turn it into a book or turn it into a course or whatever it is. Then I was watching at the time, it was back when Trevor Lawrence was playing for Clemson, and it was that the Fiesta Bowl. Fiesta Bowl when they were playing against Ohio State in the semis of the playoffs. And there was a period where I was thinking well informed. I was thinking Trevor Lawrence, well informed guy. Again, he's a quarterback. He just knows a lot of people. And I mean, not knows a lot of people, but knows where certain people need to be. And then I saw him take off for that QB draw that I've written articles about and I've talked about previously. And that's actually when it hit me. LY, swiftly plus LY, lift yourself because you get a quarterback who's just as fast as his receivers. And in fact, even in the book Swiftly, I talk about the idea, the concept of a wide receiver who's the skilled guy. One of the best plays that you're going to see in football is when you see a running back going down for a long run and the wide receivers blocking downfield because it shows the skilled player who's doing front team work. Again, the skilled guys, the wideouts, the running backs, the DBs, well informed are the quarterbacks, linebackers, tight ends. Those would be your manager type people. The skilled people would be your people who are working a job that's based on their skill. The cosmetologist getting paid, cosmetologists, or even you want to put personal trainers in that category, you can do that as well. even though trainers do have to have a lot of information, which proves my point. And then you get the front team workers, the people that are cleaning up bathrooms, mopping floors, the folks that you don't, just like offensive and defensive linemen, you only care about them when they have a penalty or when there's a hold, like I said, a holding, or they're giving up a sack or whatever it is. So it's a false start. It's the only time you really care much about the offensive line, offensive and defensive line, all that kind of stuff, right? So I had all that brewing. I had all that brewing, and it was like I couldn't sleep at night. So here's the wintrapreneur tip, all right? Because the next day it was that Saturday. So Saturday it happened, and Sunday I spent all day, working on it, starting to write the book and all that kind of stuff. The book is a really quick read. It's like less than 50 pages, in which I have, and you can get a copy of that book as well on makeyourmove.com. All that is available at the shop, right? But anyway, the point of me breaking all that down for you is because I didn't have enough confidence to go and move forward with it until I brought it to who at the time was my current owner, or the current boss that I had at the time, who was the owner of the 9 round that I was a trainer in. And this 9 round is no longer in business. However, I wanted to get his opinion because it was pretty much the people like him who I was striving to serve, which were business owners. Now, he didn't have as many employees. However, the resource was there for me to simply ask him the question about what he thinks or how this would actually fit into his business, because it's coming from this football landscape and I'm taking this into the business world. So here's what I did. The Monday, I had it written down actually, no, I didn't write it down on a piece of paper yet. I had him watch me write it down on a piece of paper. Had a piece of paper, and it was, okay, hey, look, I have this idea, right? And you have your SWI. This is exactly what I put on T. You have your skilled workers, right? Boom, boom, boom. And I asked him, I said, hey, here it is, SWIFT. I asked him as an owner, wouldn't you like it if somebody like me, who was well informed, knows the business, knows the gym business, also had the skill of being able to teach pads, and then also be willing to do the front team work, which is cleaning up bags and mopping floors and all that? And as I was explaining that to him, he actually got it. And I'm like, okay, that process is now you adding your LY, lifting yourself. So if you were to teach somebody, again, plus LY, that's where it comes from. If you were to teach somebody, hey, as an employer, as a newcomer coming in, like I said, a new staff member, if you teach somebody this mindset about, okay, where you come in and what category do you see yourself being in initially, great, that's where you start, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's where you need to finish. And you're in ways creating a promotional opportunity just based off the way they think. Now, as easily and as smooth as I laid that out for you before, it wouldn't have been that way if I didn't go and ask someone who is a current owner. This was not him telling me to do this. This was not in my quote unquote job description. This was me having the mindset to say, I have an idea, I'm going to run it through, or kind of pass it along to somebody who's already owning a business to see what that person thinks, and then move forward with it. And again, I'll close you out with this concept. When you have your idea, when that entrepreneur bug starts hitting you, when something is brewing in that brain of yours and that light bulb moment goes off, you gotta go find the people. And most likely, again, if you're tuning into this and you do currently have a job, you go find the people that are working the jobs or doing the things that you want to be doing, or thinking about the serving the people that you want to be serving. Go speak to them, get an idea of what it's all about, and then ask yourself, all right, now I have a product. Now I can move forward. Now I could tweak it and maneuver it this way to where I could not just serve the fitness franchise. Now I can go serve people in the food industry. Now I can go serve people maybe in real estate. Now I can go serve people that are obviously in consulting and professional development, whatever the angle is. And that's why I can say now, again, have a universal system that's going to help every single business owner, especially if you're a business owner that has 20 or more employees. Now, if you don't have 20 or more employees, you're still able to utilize it in some way, because we have technology, we have certain things that you're going to be needing. And as long as you know the type of worker that you would need in your business, then this system is going to be able to help you. That's what Swiftly is all about. That's why you always see me in the plus LY. And that's where it becomes very important for you to really gather the information sit on it a little bit, take the initiative. Think about when it started. It started by me deciding to go and develop as a public speaker, and then all this stuff started happening as we're moving forward. Now I'm offering the workshops, now I'm offering the keynotes, now I'm offering the books. All that intellectual property came because I decided, hey, I'm going to spend my Saturdays developing as a public speaker by going to Toastmasters. And that's what it's all about. All right. So again, we're here every single Wednesday giving you a Wintrapreneur tip. I hope this was very helpful. I'm sure this was very helpful to you. Be thinking about these things as you're moving forward throughout your week. Again, the main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, it's makeyourmove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. In fact, go to freeguide.makeyourmove.com, put your information in. I'll send you over a guide in which ways in which you can use innovative teamwork right now to reduce the turnover in your business. I'm happy to send that out to you as well. Give you the website one more time, freeguide.makeyourmove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.